Choosing that kind of topic is a mistake. Hi, my name's Helen. I'm a practicing teacher and I've been teaching the EPQ for 10 years. Although the EPQ values your autonomy, you might need a little bit of extra support, so I'm here to help. If I had £1 for every time an EPQ student comes to me and says, "Miss, what's a good topic for my EPQ?" then I'd have lots of pounds. Before we talk about what's a good topic, we probably need to talk about what's not a good topic. In order to do an extended project, you have to avoid something called dual accreditation. All this means is that you cannot duplicate any of the learning that you have recently done or are going to do for your A-levels or similar qualifications. You need to understand the content for the year or 2 years that you're studying those qualifications. What you don't want is to choose an EPQ topic that duplicates one of the other units or something else that you happen to also be doing in your other qualifications. Choosing that kind of topic is a mistake. The reason for that is because it's not really fair to be credited twice in 2 different qualifications for 1 unit of study. You and your supervisor or your centre coordinator have to confirm that you have checked the syllabus, including the stuff that you haven't learnt yet, and you feel confident that your topic doesn't overlap with anything else you have just studied or are going to study. The only caveat to that is that you could be inspired by something that you've learnt. That could become inspiration for a project that you do that far extends what you've learnt, say, in an A-level class. It might be that what you've learnt in an A-level class is like contextual information, the very basics of a topic, and you want to go far beyond the specification and investigate that area of study in far more detail and depth than what you will do in your A-level. So if you feel confident that your topic doesn't cross over into your learning, or it touches very briefly on something that you've learned or are going to learn, but you are going to extend it far beyond the qualification specification, then you know that you've chosen a decent topic. Now let's think about what makes a good topic. I have, over the last 10 years, seen every single project topic you can possibly think of. I've seen projects based in the arts, in literature, the sciences. I've seen marketing-focused projects, film-focused projects, computing-focused projects, you name it, I've seen it. The really good ones and the projects that stand out for me tend to share similar traits. So I want to share those traits with you now. The first is that the student has a genuine passion for the topic. It's important to them in some way. Perhaps it links to their future plans in terms of a career, or perhaps it's something that's close to their heart. Perhaps it's something that relates to their family or relates to a hobby that they've invested a lot of time in, or perhaps something to do with where they live. The second trait is that it tends to be important or relevant to the audience, i.e. me and perhaps the wider community, society in some way. So it's something that's contemporary enough that we can relate it to our lives now, and it seems important to us. So, for example, I've seen a couple of projects recently on the effects of the pandemic on small businesses. And one of the students looked at the small businesses within our town's community. Really fascinating project. She had to wade through a lot of biased sources, a lot of sources that had political agendas. She showed some really good skills within this investigation, and it was important to us all. It's relevant to me, it's relevant to her. Another project that springs to mind was a student who wanted to investigate her Italian heritage. She decided to explore the influence and the impact of the large Italian community that live in our town. She was able to access some really interesting sources that I've never seen before. For example, she went to the local archives and spoke to the local archivist. She used our local libraries and accessed material, articles, primary sources that, again, I'd never seen in a project before. She was also able to interview people in the local community. So it was a really interesting project and a unique project that allowed her to demonstrate a variety of skills. Finally, bringing two topics that at first glance don't look like they work well together can be a really good way of coming up with a unique and thoughtful project. For example, this year I have a student who is a budding medic, and she's really interested in genetics, and she decided to investigate the story of HeLa cells. She's also a budding artist, so she decided to use the medium of clay to tell the story of HeLa cells. It meant that her research was twofold, because she had to investigate HeLa and she had to investigate the use of clay, artistic methods, and then she also had to evaluate the success of her artefact, which was a collection of clay models. It was a really successful project and a unique project as well. It was important to her and it's important to our community. You must bear in mind that you're not going to be on track for a great grade just because you've got a great topic idea. Execution is just as important as choosing the right topic for you. For more hints and tips on your EPQ, please hit subscribe and follow me.